Hello everyone, hope you all are well and enjoying the summers. Premier League is just now a couple of days away and it's time to set out our final teams. In this video particularly, I'll run you through my final team and then I'll show you 2 drafts sent in by the 2 members of the FPL community. Meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, do that and help me reach 600 subs sooner. So without further ado, let's kick things off. Sorare is a fantasy football game in which you can play and earn. With player cards available from around 245 clubs, you can bid and purchase the digital cards from the auction. You can then use those cards in different leagues and can even sell them for profit. Click on the link below, sign up, get common cards as a bonus, and if you decide to purchase limited cards, you'll get a free 6 limited card on 5 purchases. Check it out now. So looking at my side here, first I've gone with Ramsdale in goal. The reason for that is among the premiums, Ederson is the best goalkeeper choice for now, but having him there actually blocks that City spot for me that I'm hoping that Mahrez or Foden could actually take. Another thing that I really did consider in picking up Ramsdale is that he'll get those bonus points and save points in some games. Mendy I have seen in many sides is another option and might turn out to be a great one, but as Chelsea is still working on their defense, I'm not really convinced by him yet. Now moving on to the defenders, it is a big at the back setup. Trent has always been among the points and to going without him is very unlikely. Priced at 7.5 million, the wingback scored twice last season and had 12 assists. Fulham at away is a very tempting game and we could see these Liverpool assets returning big. Cancelo takes his place in defense. He was just 1 assist short of Trent last season. In that Man City defense actually, Cancelo is the most nailed defender. A plus point of having him is that City usually deals in a lot of clean sheets, so if he fails to deliver those attacking returns, usually the possibility of a 6-pointer is high. Perisic, the new Spurs signing, has been a hot topic among many managers. The idea in picking him is that he actually plays a lot ahead in the midfield and thus has a higher chance of providing those attacking returns. Spurs are not among the teams with a solid defense, but attacking returns from the wingback just like Doherty last season could be a great rank booster. Digne for me is being underlooked because of Cash's goals from last season. Digne clearly edges him in XA threat with a ratio of 0.14 against Cash's XA ratio of 0.05. Trippier is the new entry among all these wingbacks, although the Toons signed him last season, but he only featured for 28 minutes and scored twice from the spot. So he's a set piece expert and only priced at 5 million is a tempting option as his preseason form was very impressive. A Liverpool double up in the midfield that is quite template. Salah obviously an FPL essential for most of the managers, whereas Diaz has taken Mane's place who is now at Bayern. Priced at 8 million, the Colombian looks good. In his last season he got 4 goals and 3 assists. As he is a serious threat on the wing, I fancy him over Robo, who also looked very good with his runs in the Community Shield final. I have kept variety in defense so did not double up on Pool's wingback duo. Though Diaz is not a necessity and he can be any 8 million midfielder that you fancy, Mount among these players is a great shout and Saka is another one. The forward line is yet another pretty template one. Haaland, almost owned by 47.8% of the managers, is expected to return big. My idea of picking him over Kane is that Haaland is very threatening with his in-behind runs. Kane, although very good but plays deep. During the start of the season, Haaland has fixtures with the sides that are not defensively very solid and can be threatened by those in-behind runs. Jesus is the current most owned player, so there is really nothing to talk about as this signing has been shining for the Gunners so far. The bench is visible on the right. Ward would now possibly feature in games as Schmeichel is set to leave the club. Bailey is an enabler who has had an impressive preseason run. Similar is the case with Pereira, as I do not require any other striker now, so I have picked up Greenwood. Now as promised, I have 2 more drafts to show you to give you all an idea of how the managers are strategizing and getting ready for Game Week 1 kickoff. So let's start with FPL Arrows, who sent his draft and has briefed us about his picks.
Afternoon everybody, hope you're all good. Hope things are well. Say, how you doing mate? I hope things are good with you. Obviously you've asked me to come on the channel and go through my Game Week 1 team, which I do appreciate. It's such a pleasure to be on here and being involved. I know you're going to try and get some of the community involved as the seasons go on. So yeah, it's nice that I've been able to come back on. So I'm going to go through my team. I'm actually going to go with a 4-4-2. May change, but I think I'm set on a 4-4-2. I've gone with Ederson in net. I did have Mendy in there for 5 million. I watched a bit of pre-season with Chelsea and things, and he just didn't fill me with any confidence. The team didn't look great, so I've switched to Edison. And I think for the extra 0.5, I think you're guaranteed to get a lot more clean sheets, etc. And we all know he can grab the odd assist here and there, hopefully when I own him. Secondly, I've gone for his teammate Cancelo, 7 million. Again, he's I think he was the 5th highest point scorer last season, 201 points, I think it was. 7 million is great value for him, and you're guaranteed attacking returns and clean sheets. I think he's potentially a set and forget for me. As is my next defender, Trent. He's another set and forget. 7.5 million, fantastic value. I think if he was a midfielder, I think his ownership would be 60-70%. Surely, I mean, he plays up and down the wing. He practically plays as a midfielder, and you could obviously you could go Robbo instead, but I think for that 0.5, I think for me Trent is the one. I've also gone for James. Now I did just slate Chelsea, saying they didn't look very good, but I think James, we all know what he can do, and I think for 6 million, I'd like to have a tiny bit of cover from Chelsea, and I think he's in there for his attacking returns for me more than his defensive abilities. But if clean sheets come, then that's a bonus. Now, this is the interesting one, was my next defender, which was Cash. There's a lot of 5 million defenders. Zinchenko obviously is one of them, Trippier, Cash. I mean, I think Cash was in the top 9 or 10 defenders points-wise last season. I've seen the fixtures for Villa. They look reasonably good, and I think at the minute I'm swayed to Cash, but that may change. That's one of the positions I'm not 100% on. Then my midfield, I've gone with Neto, 5.5. Basically, he's an enabler. He's looked okay pre-season. He's been quite involved. Hopefully, he stays injury-free. And for 5.5, I mean, you've got to live a little, haven't you, and take a bit of a punt, and he enables, obviously, all my big hitters in there as well. Talking of big hitters, I've gone with Salah as well. I know there's a lot of teams going no Salah. I'd rather have Salah, to be honest. I think he's going to be the highest point scorer again this season, like previous seasons. I think he's a no-brainer for me, to be honest. I think he's going to be another set and forget. Also, his teammate, Luis Diaz. The 8 million midfielders are, I mean, there's so many of them. Like there's Mount, Saka, obviously Diaz. There's quite a few of them, to be fair. And I just think with Mane gone, I think Diaz should hopefully lock that left wing position down. I'm hoping he does, and I'm hoping he scores heavily. So yeah, I mean, if all else fails, it's an easy switch if I decide to change it up later for the likes of Foden, Mahrez, etc. But I think for now, I think he's in the team. I've gone for Martinelli for my 4th midfielder. Again, for 6 million. I think Arsenal look great pre-season. I think if Arsenal don't sign anyone else for that wing, I think Martinelli for 6 million is great. I would rather have Saka, but obviously I can't afford everyone. Odegaard for 6.5 is a great shout. I know a couple of the lads have mentioned, especially my brother Neil. He's mentioned he could be an absolute standout player for Arsenal. He's also now the captain. I just can't afford him, to be honest, so I'm going to go with Martinelli. And then my up front, I've gone with Jesus, or Jesus, however you'd like to pronounce his name. Again, he's looked fantastic pre-season, and 8 million. I think he's the highest owned player in FPL at the minute, over 60%. And yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be staying in my team for quite a while, barring any injuries. And then last but not least, this was the big debate. I couldn't decide on Haaland or Kane. I've gone with Kane. I've read some comments from Pep about Haaland. Will he start? Will he play the full 90? We all know Pep's rotation. I mean, with Kane, he's got Southampton first game, and he's guaranteed pretty much to start. He's captain. He's on penalties. He's proven in the Prem. I think I'm going to go with him for game week 1. If all else fails, I can switch to Haaland for game week 2 if necessary. But yeah, that's pretty much my team. My bench, I've gone with Steele, just bench fodder basically, 4 million. Don't expect anything from him. I've also gone with Andreas. He looks like he's going to play, 4.5 million. He's nice bench fodder just in case I have to sub somebody out. Also, Nico Williams looks like he's playing wing back for Forest. Again, I just want players on my bench that are going to play, to be honest. And then last but not least, I've got Greenwood. He might not get any games. He might get a few minutes here and there, but I'm concentrating more on the 11 as I'm probably going to wildcard around the international break. So yeah, that's my team. I'm pretty sure that's going to stay like that for game week 1. But yeah, that's really it. So I appreciate everyone taking the time to watch the video. Zay, thank you again, my brother, for having me on. I wish you all the best of luck, and may all your arrows be green.
So that was an amazing draft, something to really consider, some great options and some differential picks. Next up we've got as a draft from FPL Dude. Let's look at that.
Hey fantasy football fans, my name's Aid and I'm going to tell you all about my fantasy football team for game week 1. First up, it's the goalies, and I've gone straight in at 5.5 million with Edison. I think he'll do a pretty good return, around 160 to 180 points, and I don't think you can get that value anywhere else in the team. Next up, it's defence, and in game week 1 I'm playing a 3-5-2. So my 3 are Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo and James. I think they chose themselves for me. Okay, so on to the midfield. I don't think you can go any season without picking Mo Salah as your number 1 choice. Next to him, I've got Bruno G from Newcastle. A great opening fixture and a great price at 6 million. I've also gone for Kulusevski. I don't think a lot of people have, and he's 8 million. There's plenty of other 8 million players out there that you could pick. But he's definitely playing game week 1 with Richarlison suspended. At home to Saints, he could have a real good haul. I've also gone for 2 £5 million differentials in Leon Bailey and Dewsbury Hall. Both of their fixtures aren't too bad, so I'm really hoping for some good points from them in the opening game week. Okay, so on to the forwards. I've got 2 spaces left in my first 11, and the first one goes to Darwin Núñez. I think he's going to be a revelation at Liverpool. He's quick, he's intelligent, and I think he just perfectly fits into the team. The next one is Jesus. His move to Arsenal, I think, was a dream match for him and Arteta and Arsenal as a whole. I just think he's going to get 25 plus goals easily this season. So I hope those two are going to do really well for me. So that just leaves my bench. In goal, I've gone with Danny Ward from Leicester. Obviously, with Schmeichel leaving, or he should have done by now, he's going to be the number 1 goalkeeping choice. And at 4 million, I think he's a great second choice. Next up, I've got Matty Cash. He's probably going to feature a lot in my team, not in game week 1, but I'm going to play a few 4-4-2s and he'll come into play then. As backup, also in defence, I've gone for Nico Williams. He's only 4 million and I just think that leaves a lot of money to play with for the rest of the team. Also, up front, it's a really tricky choice, but I've gone with Greenwood and so have a lot of people. At 4.5 million, I am really hoping a lot of people don't jump off him in game week 1 and my team starts losing value. The good thing is, I've still got 2.5 million left in the bank. I'm going to stick with my team for the first 2 game weeks, but I plan to do some things in game week 3. So, the last thing I can say is good luck to everybody. I hope you have a fantastic season, but most of all, enjoy it. There can be only one winner. It's not going to be me.
So these were the 2 amazing drafts sent in by the 2 amazing people of the FPL community. I would like to thank them for sending their drafts, and I would like to thank you all for watching the video. Please subscribe if you have not yet already. I'll be back sooner.